Let us start. New topic of coordination in plant, that is movement. Movement again we divide into two parts. Tropic movement and nastic movement. Once again I told you, separate topic of this tropic movement or nastic movement is not given in your textbook, but it will ask in exams, so please be careful. Tropic movement and nastic movement. What do you mean by tropic movement? See, if there is any change or if there is any movement of curvature. What do you mean by movement of curvature? Means if there is any directional movement towards certain direction, then it is called tropic movement. And if there is no directional movement, but movement is there because of only cell, you know that if plenty amount of water is entered into the cell because of osmosis, then cell becomes swollen and it performs some metabolism, some activity. Now if there is a less amount of water in the cell, then its activity is also different. So this type of movement, it is called nastic movement. Is it okay? See, what do you mean by tropic movement? Movement of plant which are directional. We will discuss in which way or how it is directional. So movement of plant which are directional, that is called tropic movement. What is nastic movement? Movement of plant due to pressure change in the cell. Movement of plant due to pressure change in the cell, that is called nastic movement. Now first we start with tropic movement, after that nastic. Nastic is very simple, but see here, tropic movement, the first is, here we say that movement of plant which is directional, the first is phototropism. You know that the word photon means atom of light. So here tropism means directional movement towards light, that is called phototropism. What do you mean by phototropism? Bending of plant parts. Due to sunlight or towards sunlight. Is called phototropism. As for example, if you place a pot, in your textbook this activity is given. If you place a pot near the window, okay, now the plant inside this pot, it starts growing and it always try to move outside the window, not towards the room, not inside the room, but it always try to move outside the window, because outside the window there is a light, and so plant always moves or bend towards the light. Remember one thing that, and very interesting, you have learnt about auxin. You now know that hormone auxin secretes in root and shoots. live about root. Now if it secrete in the shoots, what happened? So remember one thing, that auxin always secrete in shoots, but not towards the light, opposite sides of light. It always secrete. Where there is a light, at that place the tip of the plant moves towards the light. It is because of auxin hormones. Okay, and it doesn't mean that auxin produced in the tip and auxin has great attraction towards sunlight. No, it is not there. Is it okay? So auxin, because auxin is produced in the shoot, and this auxin produced on the opposite side of the shoot where there is no light, means auxin produced only in shady region. Because of the shady region, when auxin produced, then remaining part always moves towards the light, because auxin has not attraction towards light. So in opposite part it produce, so remaining part attracted and it moves towards the light. This is called phototropism. Remember this thing. Now after that, chemotropism. Chemo, from the word you easily understand that chemotropism. Chemo means chemical. Here tropism means directional movement. Directional movement because of any chemical, that is called chemotropism. So movement because of chemicals is called chemotropism. Okay, as for example, we can say that pollen tube. Always grow towards ovule. It always grow towards ovule. Pollen grain from one flower to another flower always fall on pollen tube, means top of the pollen tube, which is known as stigma, and then it moves towards the pollen tube, and afterward it reaches to the ovule, means ovum. Okay, all this because of chemotropism, means because of chemical, pollen grain falls on the flower, falls on the stigma, falls on inside the pollen tube. Okay, this is because of chemotropism. Now geotropism. Geo means earth. So here naturally direction towards the earth, that is root. Okay, so movement of plant parts in response to gravitational force. Movement of any plant parts response to gravitational force. Then it is called geotropism. As for example, roots. Roots perform geotropism, always moves towards the earth. Okay, and the last is hydrotropism. Hydro means water. Again, movement of plant parts responds to water. Movement of plant parts responds to water. As per example, again, roots. Okay, and root hair. It always moves towards the water. In search of water, it always moves. Okay, this is called hydrotropism. Now, say in phototropism, we said that it is because of sunlight bending of any plant parts towards the sunlight, that is called phototropism. See, what happens when any plant parts like leaves and stem, if there is a movement of stem because of light, then we call it is a positive phototropism. So what is called positive phototropism? This is movement of stem. Movement of stem towards light. So it is known as positive phototropism. Then what about negative phototropism? What is negative phototropism? So movement of roots away from the light. Movement of roots away from the light. That is called negative phototropism. Positive and negative, right? Towards the light is positive, away from the light is negative. Same manner we can write positive geotropism. Positive geotropism, movement of root towards the earth. Movement of roots towards soil or earth. That is called positive geotropism. What is negative geotropism? You can write it easily. Negative geotropism is what? Movement of stem away from the earth. Movement of stem away from the earth or opposite side of the earth. That is called negative geotropism. Okay, this is about tropic movement. They are positive and they are negative. Now let us start nastic movement. Nastic movement is very easy. Again, you can say that photonasty. What is photonasty? You know that nastic movement means what? It occurs due to the pressure increases or decreases in the cell. If pressure increases or decreases because of light, then we call it photonasty. Means if light is the factor for this, then it is called photonasty. Nastic movement. It is due to cell pressure. Cell pressure is due to osmosis or diffusion, means higher concentration to lower concentration. As for example, twirling of tendrils. You have seen creepers, okay, which moves in a circular manner or spiral manner, and it tries to hook out this stem of the plant and then it moves up. So twirling of tendrils is the best example of nastic movement. This is because of cell pressure. Opening of flower. Flower opens slowly, gradually. This is because of nastic movement. This is because of cell pressure, and slowly, gradually flower become blossom. And after that, pollination start. Pollen grain moves from one part to the other part, and in this way flower converts into fruit. As for example, another best example, you can write that touch me not plant. In scientific language, it is known as mimosa. What happened in the mimosa? Have you seen mimosa or touch me not plant? When you touch it, then it droops or fold up. Why? How does this happen? The reason is nastic movement. Exactly what happened when you touch the leaves of this mimosa, then because of our pressure on the leaves, the water in the leaves, tip of the leaves, water moves in downward direction. When water moves in a downward direction, then it loses the pressure, it loses the firmness. And if the firmness loses, it falls down. So we call it touch me not. Is it okay? So this is about nastic movement. Now we will start your last and important point, hormones in animal. Write down this. That's it.